Biggest party, the Ford Fireworks Show. The big question, though, will the weather hold off? In past years, this prime spot would be packed with people right about now, but it's been a stormy day. Colette has our fireworks forecast a little later in the show, and our Jennifer LaGrassa is standing by live at the riverfront. Is the rain keeping all those crowds away further down? We'll find out in just a few minutes. Plus, take a look at this photo sent to us by a customer at a Tim Hortons in Windsor. Ants crawling across a counter as an employee makes someone's meal. The health unit has launched an investigation. Plus, after spending hours on a stretcher in the hallway of a Windsor hospital, one woman tells us she'd rather die than ever go back. And we look into reports of a potential tornado in Windsor, Essex. A team of investigators are looking at the damage to see if a twister touched down. Now, weather is the big story making a splash today, but there's also a huge fireworks show just hours away that's set to make a big bang. The CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa joins us live from the riverfront. Jen, the skies didn't look very promising. The sun is now just starting to peek out. Do we know right now if the fireworks will happen tonight or if that's still up in the air?
Well, Jason, I do have some insider information that tells me we will likely be dazzled by the Ford fireworks happening tonight. Like you said, that sun is kind of peeking in, peeking out. But I want to bring you around to this spot that I'm at on the riverfront. Usually, a lot of people would be here at this point. But as you can see, it's kind of empty. I'm going to be honest. So there is some people around. You can see the chairs behind me, though, covered in plastic. And that's kind of the theme across the riverfront, people trying to keep those chairs from getting wet. As you can see, too, there's some tents off in the distance there as well. People doing that just to keep dry. But for those heading down, basically what this means is that there's a lot of prime spots for you to come and watch the fireworks.
Oh, we are guaranteed to go forward tonight. We're going to have a couple rainstorms early, and then it's clearing right up going into the evening, and we are good to go.
Now, you'll hear more from the parade company a little bit later in the show. But again, I just want to talk about how it's kind of empty around me right now. There's still people walking around trying to find that perfect spot to come to a little bit later. But basically, that show is going to begin just after 10 o'clock tonight. And I'm hearing that the only thing that could really shift it is the weather. So if we see kind of thunder or lightning, that sort of thing. But I'm hearing that those conditions are supposed to improve as we get into the evening. So once that sun sets, your wind is not going to be too bad, maybe some scattered showers, but for the most part, you're just going to have to kind of deal with the wetness of these surroundings. But the Ford fireworks expected to take off just right behind me above the Detroit River, 11,000 of them in 24 minutes, and people that I spoke with are really excited to see them tonight.
And what I'm looking forward to tonight was what I experienced last year, which was the exchange of the flags, the Canadian flag and the American flag, the way they came out in turns, and while you're still trying to figure out where is this going, and then the fireworks just begins. Like, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
And the rain people are talking about, that it might rain on this parade. How are you guys feeling, and do you have a backup plan in case it rains as the fireworks are happening?
Okay, so we got an umbrella, but I don't think the rain is going to stop the fun tonight. Trust me.
Now, I also wanted to look into some of the preparation for tonight, and it turns out there's a lot of teamwork happening between Canada and the United States to make this happen.
What today is for me is I need to do the permit. So we've issued a permit now allow for the closure of the Canadian side of the Detroit River in partnership with the U.S. Coast Guard. There's planning working with local law enforcement agencies who will be doing the security pickets to stop the boats from coming through the area that the fireworks will occur, and then also working with Sarnia Traffic, Canadian Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard, so that we can get as many commercial vessels through the zone before the fireworks begins.
So Jen, for people who are heading out in person to watch the show tonight, and more may be coming after you showed us all of these great spots to sit, what are some tips that may help them out?
The key tip, Jason, is to really get here early, claim that spot, claim your seat for those fireworks. And if you're getting here early enough, you'll probably want to bring some snacks because you get a little hungry by 10 o'clock. But also just because of the weather, you might want to bring, tents or umbrellas or rain ponchos with you. And what we're hearing as well from police is you want to take a picture of your child before they head out because you might get separated. So that'll just show them an accurate photo of your kid in case that does happen. We also have some significant road closures that are happening. So what I want to point out is Riverside Drive West from the Ambassador Bridge to Devonshire Road will be closed off. That's happening now at 6. And then what we also see is Olette Avenue from Wyandotte to Riverside, McDougall Street also from Wyandotte to Riverside. Those are expected to open around 1 a.m. But then there's also a Transit Windsor shuttle bus. So that'll pick up people from Devonshire Mall, drop you off at City Hall Square. And that bus service will resume once those fireworks are complete. And again, Jason, I just want to say, so those fireworks are going to be happening after 10 o'clock tonight. The only thing that could push them is weather, so we'll have to stay tuned and see, but we're hopeful. Jason.
Thanks, Jen. We'll check in a little later with you in the show. This weather is a part of that system that slammed us last night. A big storm hitting parts of Windsor, Essex about 24 hours ago. The city says it received 56 calls to its 311 center about downed trees. Environment Canada says it received several reports of a possible tornado just before 7 p.m. Check out this footage of someone's backyard kind of being pummeled by that wind. A team came to Windsor today from Western University to investigate.
We don't know a tornado has happened in this area right yet. That's part of what our job is to determine. So it could have been from multiple different severe wind events, such as a tornado or a downburst or other non-tornadic vortices. But part of our job is to take a look at the damage patterns, take a look at the intensity, as well as the damage sort of ratio of length to width, and that helps us determine whether a tornado has occurred or not.
Now here, the team was surveying some damage in East Windsor at the Beach Grove Golf and Country Club in the East End. They also checked out LaSalle, reports of damage in McGregor and Essex as well. Miller says the information they are gathering on the ground, along with meteorological data, will be used to determine whether or not a tornado occurred. He says they should be able to make a preliminary finding by tomorrow. An early morning trip for a breakfast sandwich came with something a little extra for one Windsor couple. Ants crawling all over the food counter as it was being prepared. The CBC's TJ Deere spoke with the couple and heard from the company about how it happened.
5 a.m. Sunday morning. Melissa Martin Callard and her boyfriend Darren Woods placed their orders at this Tim Hortons at the intersection of Central Avenue and North Service Road East. What they saw? Ants near their food while the on-site employee was preparing their breakfast. When they pointed it out to the employee,
she basically just tried to walk the ants away and didn't offer us to remake the sandwiches, didn't say sorry. It was just a complete lack of customer care.
Woods and Martin Callard took their anger to social media, posting these pictures and a summary of their experience on a popular Facebook forum.
I have had employees reach out to me and let me know that this apparently has been a numerous issue that has been going on, that manager is aware of it and the owner is aware of it, and the employees can't do anything about it.
The couple tried contacting the location's management, owner, Tim Hortons corporate headquarters, and the local health unit, but nobody got back to them. Martin Callard's post was screenshotted and also posted on a public Reddit forum. Online comments under both posts largely condemned the employee preparing their food, management, and the ownership. A former employee told CBC News that while the employee's actions were negligent, the owners have always made sure that standards at their restaurants are high. According to the health unit's public inspection records, 2 inspections were completed at this location over the past year, the most recent in February. Both results were satisfactory and no action was taken. The health unit confirmed to CBC News that they had received a complaint about the ants and are now investigating. Management said any requests for comment have to be forwarded to Tim Hortons' head office, who said they were disappointed to see the images shared about a restaurant that has a good track record. They say the drive-through window had been mistakenly left open overnight, allowing the insects to enter the restaurant. They also say the kitchen was closed for food service shortly afterwards and didn't resume until everything was clean. Tim Hortons also said the owners were on site later Sunday morning to make sure everything was safe and that this doesn't happen again. The owners have yet to respond to requests for comment, but this has shaken Woods and Martin Callard.
I will never support another Tim Hortons, not even for a coffee. I would much rather make it at home or possibly go somewhere else, but I don't know if I trust anywhere else if this is our food standards now.
TJ Deere, CBC News, Windsor.
A woman's recent trip to Windsor Regional Hospital was so horrendous, she said she would rather stay home, even if it means dying. CBC's Del Molnar has more about her experience with hallway healthcare.
There's a lot lacking in our healthcare right now.
82-year-old Mary Gail Bugley says she spent more than 6 hours in a hallway waiting to get into the emergency room at the Olette campus of Windsor Regional Hospital last Wednesday after being brought in by ambulance. Even after getting in at midnight and staying overnight in the ER, she didn't get an answer as to why she passed out at home. She says she doesn't want to go back.
In the hospital, it's not comfortable. You're freezing all the time. There's no heat. They give you a warm blanket, and in 3 minutes, it's already cold. I just don't want to go back there ever again, is what I want to say. I stay home. Maybe I'll die, but you know, at least I'll be comfortable here.
Paramedics had to attend to her while she waited to be seen, so her husband says that kept them off the road.
They're in the waiting room with her waiting to be entered in the emergency area. So you're tying up the ambulance, you're tying up the attendants.
Their daughter says more money needs to be spent on health care.
My daughter's a nurse. She works overtime. She has too many patients. Everybody has too many patients. They can't keep up. It's no wonder we've lost so many nurses.
The province says it's spending $1 million on a nurse offload program to try to alleviate the issue, but MPP Andrew Dowie says the number of patients who come to the ER in Windsor by ambulance is significantly higher than the provincial average. The average is 20% compared to 35% here. He says the province has embarked on training incentives and programs to increase the number of healthcare professionals, and he says it will also help urgent care centers expand their hours to stay open later. He says it's hard to do it with the staff they have now.
We need to get the system design right. So Windsor Regional has made that ask. They've made it publicly known at many points, and I'm there to support them, and so is MPP Liardi in that request, because it's certainly leaving us with not a lot of alternatives to the emergency room.
He estimates it will take months before relief comes, but for now he is asking people to attend urgent care clinics if they can wait rather than overloading the ERs. He also says the new acute care hospital will alleviate the burden. Mary Gail Bugley's family is not optimistic.
We've got a baby boomer crisis right now. They're aging. They need help.
Del Molnar, CBC News, Stony Point.
An employee at the Royal Bank of Canada is taking a stand for his mental health. When he tried to get a disability leave to recover from burnout, anxiety, and depression, his insurance provider, Manulife, denied the claim, and RBC told him to get back to work or be fired. Erica Johnson has this Go Public investigation.
This RBC financial planner had recently been a top performer, but last year a family member died. Someone broke into his home. It all affected his work. Someone else is reading his words.
It was really difficult to concentrate, to focus. I'd forget a lot of things. I was suffering from insomnia and couldn't eat.
Compounding problems, he says, relentless work pressure to meet objectives and sales targets. Go Public has investigated the high-pressure sales environment inside all the big banks.
You're pre-approved for overdraft protection. I can activate that for you right now.
Thousands of present and former employees described to us the pressure to sell or risk termination. The RBC employee sought short-term disability leave through his company's insurer, Manulife. A doctor diagnosed him with burnout, a common issue according to a recent survey by Mental Health Research Canada. More than 1 in 5 people reported frequently experiencing workplace burnout. Manulife declined the claim, saying burnout is not a recognized medical condition. The employee's doctor did further medical testing and diagnosed him with generalized anxiety disorder and major depressive episode. Manulife still denied it, saying the evidence didn't support his claim. RBC said get back to work or be fired.
Most of us inherently have a drive to want to be productive, and so when we have someone who is coming to us for help, the appropriate response is to say, how can we help? Not, you can do this, and if you don't do it, you lose your job.
Manulife declined an interview request citing privacy concerns, but wrote in a statement it's proud of the support it gives its customers. RBC also declined an interview, but said it considers the well-being of its employees a top priority. After Go Public got involved, RBC said it was reviewing new information and put its employees' termination date on hold. Erica Johnson, CBC News, Vancouver.
Still to come, I chat with the man in charge of the fireworks show to see what we can expect tonight, and we'll get the latest weather forecast coming up next. Now that we know the Ford fireworks are guaranteed to happen, according to the president and CEO of the company putting on the show, what can we expect for the 65th year of the international event? I went over to Detroit and spoke with him myself to find out.
We have put, with our partners at Zambelli, more fireworks in a 24-minute show than ever before. There's close to 11,000 different fireworks in this. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And over a 24 minutes?
24 minutes. We've jammed more into 24 minutes than we have ever even thought of.
How would you describe this year's fireworks show?
It's going to be pretty glorious. It really is. The colors, the amount of fireworks that we've included, the music, it all just fits perfectly. It's been perfectly choreographed by Zambelli, best in the world. Patrick Barreau, best choreographer in the world. The Parade Company music all came together, and it's going to be quite a show. We do not release the soundtrack.
Okay.
There's 16 or so songs. We choreograph it right to the songs, and I like to throw surprises in there. I pick the songs, and the inspiration is to some nostalgic, some country, some hip hop, rock and roll, and just make it all feel great and make it fit. And this year there's some real surprises in there, and just try to make it feel good, and then fast and slow, and then really pump it up at the end.
Okay. That's the big bang, right? The big finale?
This will be the longest finale people have ever seen.
And where is the best place to watch these fireworks from?
Oh boy. I think Hart Plaza is one of the best.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Why is that?
Just the angle of it is pretty spectacular.
It's like front row almost, right?
It's front row.
Yeah.
It's right there. Yeah, it is.
Colette Kennedy joins us live now on our fireworks night forecast. Colette, we already heard from him. Fireworks guaranteed to go on. The only thing that he says will stop it is lightning and thunder, something he doesn't think will happen. What kind of guarantees do you have for us, Colette?
Yeah, you want all your surprises with the show and that to really dazzle you, right? And not what's going to be happening with the weather. Well, let me show you what I'm thinking here for the forecast, which is, yeah, we still have some active weather here through the supper hour and into early evening. But by the time we get to the show, we should be seeing things winding down. And one of the reasons for that is some of the energy for the storms, or even that rotation around this area of low pressure that are bringing the pop-up showers and thunderstorms. We lose some of that energy with the sun setting. So here's what I'm thinking by the time 10:06, when things get started, about 20 degrees. Now, keeping in mind we do have some humidity, so it's going to feel closer to the upper 20s in terms of that humidex value. I put an isolated shower in here because the risk is there of still a few kind of sprinkles around, but notice I haven't put it on the icon. If anything, I think we'll be getting into more breaks, and the more breaks we get and the lighter the wind, the better it is to be seeing these fireworks and having things really working out. So cross your fingers. There's going to be some wet ground depending where you're kind of setting up. You may have to dodge some puddles and some ponding water and that kind of thing. But otherwise, I think we'll be pretty lucky here. So the current temperatures, looking at these, cooler in southwestern Ontario than what it was today over into eastern Ontario towards the nation's capital. And that was an issue when you add in the humidity. So this very buoyant air, when we have these kind of patterns with summertime weather where there's the humidity, we have this trigger, which is this upper low, and everything is just kind of spinning around that, and it provides that lift for some of the showers and some of the thunderstorms. Again, I kind of mentioned the lighter winds, other than when you get very close to one of these storms rolling through. Some of the lightning strikes from earlier, we're into a bit of a pocket here. Again, I don't want anyone to panic because there's still some rotation that's going to be coming through. So let's get through the next couple of hours, and then that's when things will really be dying down as that sun sets just around 9:13 for tonight. But showing you the big picture, this is what I'm talking about. This is all due to one area of low pressure. Some very strong storms in eastern Ontario, severe thunderstorm watches and warnings still in play there. And there were some tornado warnings earlier in southern Quebec and eastern Ontario, including around the nation's capital. What's nice about this picture, it's bringing some much needed rain into northern Ontario, into parts of Quebec that need it where we have the forest fire situation, and it's also going to change the wind flow to get smoke clearing out of areas like the Ottawa Valley where it's been so bad. All right, so watch this. 9 p.m., losing the sun and that energy. Isolated showers still around, yes, but not much more than that. And that's why I put just mostly cloudy to partly cloudy in the forecast for tonight. Okay, so quickly, let's see if I could just get you here to your 5-day forecast. I do want to tell you this is all pulling away by the time that we get to Wednesday. In fact, even Tuesday night. So we will get out of this pattern. 18 overnight, 19 tomorrow morning, and then 24 tomorrow, with things maybe firing up again into the afternoon.
All right, thanks so much, Colette.
You're welcome.
Right after the break, we head back out to the CBC Windsor's Jennifer LaGrassa, who is down by the river, to see if it's gotten any busier or if rain is washing away those crowds. That's next. Let's go back to the riverfront. Jen joins us live again. Jen, earlier you were talking about some of the prime spots available. The sun was out. Now there's some kind of dark clouds behind you. What's it looking like out there?
Yeah, well, surprisingly, Jason, it has gotten busier. A lot of people coming out, settling in and unpacking. Right across the street, I'm going to direct your attention. There's the Windsor Riverfront Fireworks Party. It's packed in there, lots of people out, which again is surprising because if you look kind of this way behind me, you're going to see those really angry, sort of heavy clouds that are sort of pushing this way. But like I said, people still gathering. I can now see the barges that are out there in the water preparing for the show tonight. I spoke with a family a little bit earlier who was kind of walking around to feel out where they're going to be for the fireworks show. What spots are standing out to you so far?
All of them. But it's looking to want to clear up, and it looks like it's going to be okay. And I'm excited because I haven't been down here in at least 30 years.
So your first one seeing it at the riverfront in a long time?
Right down here at the riverfront where you feel it right in your heart.
I am very excited for her to catch the show in person. 30 years, she's going to be the first time she's going to be down here watching it in person. It definitely is a different feeling. You can feel it kind of whole body, in your heart, in your chest, as she was saying, Jason. Again, just want to say that the show is happening just after 10 tonight. The only way that will get pushed around is because of this weather, if we do see thunder or lightning. But if there is rain, we are hearing that the show is still going to move forward. That's those 11,000 fireworks in 24 minutes. And Jason, I just want to say, I've covered this for a few years, and everyone that I've talked to, no matter how many times they've seen the show, they always say it never gets old. It's always fantastic to come down and enjoy it with family and with friends. I'm excited to be out here tonight watching it myself. Back to you, Jason.
And Jen, the wind seems to be picking up a little bit. We just saw some joggers running over your shoulder away from the dark clouds. And now here they're going back the other way, but it seems like it's getting lively out there, what we would expect to see for a night like tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like I'm telling you, there is more and more people kind of making their way. There's already those road closures that are in place, so you kind of see people walking around the downtown and people kind of pointing out, I can see them, their spots. So excited to see the show tonight. Back to you.
And the one thing, Jen, before you go, before we leave you, I really loved the reserve seating at the front with the caution tape. That is my kind of preserving the seats there. But thanks so much for your coverage on this, Jen, and get back dry.
Will do. Thanks, Jason.
Well, that's it for us here at CBC Windsor News Live at 6. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, though, for news anytime, head to our website, cbc.ca/Windsor, and you can find some of the fireworks coverage on our website, more with the interview with the man who runs the fireworks show on our Instagram page as well. Thanks so much again for watching. If you're out there, stay dry and enjoy the show. Have a great night.